Litecoin price prediction. In this video, I'm going to give you guys my honest Litecoin price prediction. And as you guys know, I have a price prediction for a lot of altcoins in my price prediction playlist right here on YouTube. You guys can check it out in my description if you want to see if your altcoin's on there. But today we'll be taking a look here at Litecoin, one of the old coins here, and I'm very bullish on Litecoin. I'm gonna give you my price prediction targets where I see it going up. Before I do that, I'm gonna tell you guys about BTCC, my favorite trading platform. This is where I actually leverage trade and buy leverage trades that are long term, 3x, 5x, and you guys can check it out right here at the pinned comment. I'll leave it right here. If you use the code Sir Lewis or you just use my link, you'll get a big deposit bonus up to 10K, meaning that if you deposit more than 500 bucks, you get a 10% deposit bonus, and the limit is 10K, which is insane. But you can get up to 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10K, depending on the amount that you deposit, which is 10% deposit bonus. So check out BTCC. It's been here since 2011. Never had any hacks. They have proof of reserves, and it's honestly my favorite exchange to trade and also buy on spot. So you can check it out in the pinned comment. So we'll be taking a deep diving here into Litecoin and give you guys my honest price prediction. You guys know I like to deep dive here and look at not just the Litecoin chart, but I'll just start with this, right? This is Litecoin on the yearly. And honestly, this is a very, very long-term bullish chart. So, if we actually get the measured move here, we've been in this asymmetrical pennant, boom, boom, right? This flag here for years. And this might be the year where we break out of this for Litecoin. And when we break out of this, I mean, we're going to make some major moves here. And we get the measured move here, which is, estimate here from this measured move from this multi-year pendant. It takes us to around here, and you want to, keep a note of this because then I'm going to give you my Fibonacci targets. But it takes us to around 1,200. Now, I'm not saying Litecoin will go to those levels this bull market cycle, but it's a measured move because this is on the yearly. You got to understand that it's not the weekly or monthly. It's a measured move that can maybe, be for the next cycle top. Okay. But I do believe at some point Litecoin will fill this measured move here eventually and hit that 1,200. There's a small probability that it will happen this bull market cycle. Who knows? One of the big things that I'm bullish regarding Litecoin is the ETFs. I believe very soon out of nowhere, we're going to see ETF news regarding Litecoin. And we can see that there's been a lot. I mean, this is a very bullish candle here on the yearly. You see this huge wick back up here. There's a lot of buying here. So maybe there's an ETF brewing up for Litecoin. And once that gets revealed, that's probably going to push Litecoin up big here. Okay. So as you guys know, Litecoin BTC is this chart right here. And you guys know I always show the BTC charts because it's super important to look at the BTC pairs, how it's performing versus Bitcoin, because this holds the key also when figuring out the top of the market for that coin or other coins too. So here, what we can see here for the BTC pair is obviously Bitcoin is much better, right? I mean, over the years, it's just been outperforming Litecoin. It's just, I mean, this is a heavy downtrend, a multi-year downtrend here for Litecoin. And I'll show you the top here. So the top here from back in 2021 was actually right here. The top for Litecoin was right there, right? When we had that nice pump here on the 2 months right there. And also right about here in 2021, I believe. Let's see right here. Yeah, right about here. So those 2 times right there was the top for Litecoin. Well, in 2021 we had the double top, but you can see this was, I believe this was the main top here. And we can see that over here in 2022, we also had a big explosion here, outperforming Bitcoin just for that 1 month. And we got a heavy rejection off the top of that multi-year trend line since back in 2019, 2018. So what I believe will happen is the possible top for Litecoin could be when we possibly, we can put in a bullish pattern, which would be, kind of like an inverted head and shoulders, right? This could be the head. We'll come down a little bit. And then boom, right? The ending of the cycle, we can come up and we can reject the top of that trend line. So you want to have this on your charts to look at this when we're during that euphoria stage, because whether Litecoin's at 300 bucks, 1,000, wherever it's at, and it's, testing that trend line, that could be the top. I would definitely sell in that situation. All right. So this is a chart, a Litecoin Bitcoin pair that you want to be adding to your watch list, and you want to be looking here when we start to explode. Okay. Another chart that's super interesting for Litecoin is the Litecoin 3x shorts. So this is Litecoin 3x shorts on Gate.io. And what we see here, the top for Litecoin was right here, right, May 2021, and also right here in November 2021. And what we kind of see here, it's a very similar pattern. We have this massive explosion, boom, and then we have a massive dump, shorts, right? So massive explosive and then massive dump in shorts. So if you actually look at it right now, we just had a massive explosion. In fact, in what was it right here, July 2025. So this is very, very interesting, because right before an explosion, what comes next? Massive dump. So I believe what's going to happen is, you know, after this massive explosion, we're just gonna have a massive dump, right? And this could possibly be the top. If when we come into this level right here, this could be the top for Litecoin. So you want to use all these charts in confluence with each other, correlating with each other, and giving you the, you know, the signals together, because we can also see, I mean, every time we look at this, every time we have a God candle in this chart, we always sell off here in weeks of selling off. So what can happen next is we can have weeks of selling off here for Litecoin and come into this level, which could be the top. So now let's take a look at the Litecoin chart. I just showed you the yearly here with that measured move here on the yearly, but we gotta look here into the monthly and dive deep here, right? Because we can see we're very bullish here on the monthly, because that 25 is support now for 5 months now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've been holding that 25 and we just blasted right off of it, right? Last time this happened, we can see right here back in 2020. This is when we blasted right off that 25. And then, you know, we went up to put in new highs in a couple months or so. So this could be the beginning of that explosion and the breakout of that multi-year pendant for Litecoin. So on the weekly, we can also see another very bullish thing happening, which my yellow line moving average is the 25, as you guys know, and my orange is the 200, which is two very important MAs. These are the ones that I use the most. And we can see we had that cross. We had that cross right there on the 25 crossing the 200, which is very critical, because last time this happened, right over here, we continue this momentum to put in new highs here weeks from when it crossed, right? Boom, 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 2021 all-time high in May. So I believe we're going to continue this momentum. Yeah, we pulled back a little bit, right, ever since this happened, but we didn't cross back. We didn't put in the new low. We've been putting in higher lows and, you know, breaking out of ranges here for Litecoin. So I believe this will continue up. Okay, so this is a very important thing to happen here on the yearly that, you know, is super bullish. Now, let's take a look here and let's put that Fibonacci here on the weekly, and we're going to see some of the targets here for Litecoin. So we're going to get here, as you guys know, if you guys want to know how I use my Fibonacci strategy, you guys can check out my course. I have my settings on there, as well as you know, how I exactly do it in the live in my live streams and my videos. So you can check it out on my course, and I also have the cheat sheet as well, right? So we're actually gonna do it to this wick and to this wick right here. Okay, so another bullish thing too here, which is also part of the moving average, right, with the 25 bouncing, making that 25 support, the yellow 25 right there. As you can see, the 618 golden pocket, we pulled back to it and we made a support. So this is why I love confluence, because it's not just based on one indicator. When two indicators are showing you how bullish we are, it makes it obvious. And this is why you buy on the dips, why you buy on the pullbacks, because I mean, look at that. We pulled back to the 618, and I tell you guys all the time, every time a coin pulls back to the 618, it bounces off of it. With the 25 being the support right there, it's extremely bullish. So this most likely is the higher low here for Litecoin to continue this explosion here to the upside. Okay, so the next target obviously is that 0.38, which could take maybe even next month, a couple weeks to a month, 151, right? And then after that, we got 200, 204. And then when we look at some of the targets here to where Litecoin can possibly top out, I would say the most likely scenario is 600 to 760. Right, I would say that's the high probability scenario to happen for where to top out in between this range. So this is a good time to sell off, especially if the market is euphoric, which most likely will be. Now the 618, this is what's insane. The 618 actually aligns with the measured move. So you can see I had the measured move here since the beginning, right? We got it from the multi-year pendant, and it hits it to the T. You see, so I would say I'll be surprised if Litecoin does hit this target, this bull market cycle. We would probably need to have like a super cycle going into Q2 of 2026 or something like that. But I definitely see this happening along the next coming years, at least into next bull market, especially if Litecoin gets an ETF, more adoption and all that, right? And institution starts buying Litecoin and views it as a digital silver. I definitely see Litecoin hitting that 618 eventually. Maybe, who knows, maybe this bull market, depending, for it to hit this bull market, we would need to see some god candles, like a very fast movement, right? Very fast moving here. Possibly next 1 or 2 months hitting 200, the next month breaking all-time highs, you know, something like that, which can happen in the crypto market. It moves fast, right? But I'm giving guys the highly probability here, which is 600 to 760. That's where I'm selling off, depending where the market is. That's where I'm selling off most of my Litecoin. And I think Litecoin is a bullish coin to buy right now, getting that balance. Again, you want to buy coins that are showing the momentum to the upside, even though it's up a ton, right? Litecoin was at 42 bucks in the bear market. But, you know, it's been putting in higher highs, higher lows, and in this bullish momentum bouncing back to 618, to 25. And even though it's double the price or more, you want to buy that coin that's continuing that momentum. You don't want to buy a coin that it's at all-time lows in 2025. Doesn't make any sense. Just because it's at a low price doesn't mean it will recover. So, yeah, this is it, guys. This is my Litecoin price prediction. One thing to note to the bearish scenario, guys, is the fact that you see this level right here, right, where Litecoin topped out the last 2 cycles, around from 300 to around 400 level. Everyone talks about this, and I think this is a definitely something to keep in your mind. And it's the fact that the bull market topped out exactly when Litecoin came to this level and topped out here in the same level, right? So we basically put in from the last 2 cycles, we basically put in a double top here. And so a lot of people think that when Litecoin comes back to this exact target from 300 to 400, this exact range, they believe the market top will be in. And I think that's something to keep in mind, right? It depends a lot based on where we are. So let's say we are 150K plus Bitcoin. It's Q4 2025, maybe Q1 2026. We're having all coins explode, ETH 10K. You're seeing all the red signs, you know, overbought signals, extreme greed, and Litecoin is still here. Then that might be the top. It might happen again. It might triple top here on this multi-year resistance level here for Litecoin being the top, right? In that situation, in that scenario. But I still believe with the ETFs and everything happening for Litecoin and breaking out of this multi-year pendant, I believe it will break that, in my opinion. All right, so I am bullish on Litecoin, and these are my targets, my price prediction. Again, if you guys want to check out other coins, you can comment down below so I can make a video on them, or you can check out my price prediction playlist for this bull market. It will be in the description below, or you can just click on my channel and click on playlist. So thank you guys so much for watching. And again, if you guys want to join my Crypto Trader University, my private serious trading group, you guys can check it out in the link bio as well. It's a place where I put my signals and what I'm buying. You can get my indicators, my Fibonacci settings and all that, and a big discount on my course as well. So definitely join if you guys are interested. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.